Hello once again, everybody. I'm standing with Nick Zackrich. He is the manager of Farm Science Review, and as you can see Interstate 70 behind us, that's exactly where we are at the Farm Science Review site. Nick, let's get things started by telling everybody when it's going to be this year.
Yeah, our dates this year are September 17th, 18th, and 19th, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, just like always, 8 to 5 Tuesday, Wednesday, and 8 to 4 on Thursday.
And as always, easily accessible with Interstate 70 and the other highways around.
That's correct. So we're right between 70 and US 40, and I just want to remind folks that there is some construction on I-70 that's going to go on for over one more year from today. So keep that in mind on your travels in the morning. So come a little bit early. Our main traffic time is about between 9 and 10 o'clock in the morning. So if you want to beat the traffic, that can be done at Farm Science Review because we open at 8 o'clock. So if you're coming from the west, no need to be concerned, but coming from the east out of Columbus, you may want to prepare for that.
Very good. Now, Nick, one of the things that Farm Science Review could not operate without the obvious educational help from Extension. Tell us a little bit about what's going on this year.
Yeah, so a lot of things going on in our college and Extension in particular. So where we're standing right now, behind us is some demonstration plots. So our Extension educators want to bring some things that are thought-provoking ideas, but also some of the projects they're doing at stations around the state, kind of showing what the research is going on out in those outlying branches and things. So here you're going to find some demonstrations of what they're doing. So the crop we have behind us is probably very indicative of what you can see everywhere else in Ohio because they're short crops. But these ones are by design. We want these to be vegetative and look really good for the show so that it puts it in that state of mind when you're questioning things of should I do this or that throughout the growing season. Hopefully you'll be able to see those crops at those stages, those exact stages you want here when you're thinking about what herbicide applications to make or nutrient applications to make and how to make those.
Well, Nick, also, we're standing someplace that has changed just a little bit over the years, the last few years.
That's right. So this is only the second year. Last year we moved the fence towards the visitor parking lot. So it makes the fence a little bit closer. There was a lot of demonstrations and things happening in the space we're in now. Made it a little bit more challenging to get to because you had to get your hand stamp, come outside the fence, and then have to go back in and show your stamp. So we made everything inside the fence. It's on this side, and it makes things a little bit more flexible for me on exhibit space to be able to have a little bit more room for exhibitors that wanted to expand, some new exhibitors that wanted to come in. So really helps us out on the management side, but also for the visitor side of not having to worry about where the fence is located. And the only time you have to worry about going outside, back outside the fence is when you get in the car and go home for the day.
And it's going to be a little bit easier for those that are seeking handicap spaces.
That's right. So the handicap parking is right there close to where the registration is for handicap needs vehicles like golf carts, and then so registration and rental are in the same location there. And one of the other things too, when we talk about riding on things, this is our ride and drive location too on the east end of the exhibit area. So several manufacturers are wanting to bring machines out. So either the smaller horsepower tractors, even mid-sized tractors, some UTVs, and a lot of other things too. We'll probably see some mini excavators possibly out here as well.
Well, now that's evolved. The ride and drive has evolved over the years. At the beginning, we were talking about the fact that some of the smaller tractors, the ATVs, helped get everything started.
That's right. Yeah, so we've been doing this for quite a few years. The location just was not the best location for ride and drives because it was a little bit north of the exhibit area, and I think a lot of people saw it and wondered if it was actually part of the show or not, whether they need to have an invitation to go there. And now they're right inside the gate, so everybody knows that they're welcome as long as you're of age to be able to drive the vehicle. Some of the companies require you to be 18, some 21, so come up and see if you're able to drive, if you're a young person wanting to try those out. So a lot of UTVs, small tractors, those kinds of things, but they've kind of kept those things going. So most of the larger tractor ride and drives, sometimes you'll get those on farm, so not quite as much of a need at a farm show. But the smaller things where a dealer may not be able to drop it off at your place to try out because it's a smaller dollar amount machine, a lot of things at one time in one place at Farm Science Review to test drive things.
Well, you talk about some of the smaller things, small or large. There's always some new things going on at the review, and I can remember, right after it came to the Molly Caron Agricultural Center, leaving Don Scott Field, we had, problems every now and then with Mother Nature and with all the rains from time to time. We had some rains this year. How did the drainage that was repaired just a couple years ago, how did it hold up this year?
Yeah, for us, we were fortunate not to have as much inclement weather as most around the state did. We had our challenges planting this spring as well, but we're able to get everything in the ground. So around the site, though, we were very pleased to see how well the drainage was holding up. So, we added quite a few mains, sub-mains throughout the last couple of years, and even some smaller surface drains to take care of some of the lowest lying areas, and those have worked really well, and we're really proud of that. We've done some other things to kind of enhance that. And be able to make it a full weather facility. So years ago, before the last 10, I would say, September was always the driest month of the year, and most of you farmers out there will know September was the driest month of the year, which seems crazy because it's not the hot summer like we're used to. But September traditionally has been one of the driest months, and the last few have not been that way. So now we have to kind of think about that and plan for that for the future of not when it's going to be, or not if it's going to be a wet show, but when it's going to be a wet show again, and be prepared for that. So we've added a lot of gravel, a lot of different things along with the drainage, and it's helped a lot.
We have demonstrations throughout the review. The nice thing about what you do, even in improvements like the drainage, you have some of those companies that are here on the grounds as exhibitors, and so when farmers may not see the drainage that's underneath the soil here, but they understand that it's there. They have a chance to go and talk with those exhibitors and find out what might be good for their cropland back home.
That's right. So we have all kinds of different exhibitors, and everybody kind of thinks about, the brand new tractors when they think Farm Science Review, which we have those, but there's a lot more than that. So we have some drainage exhibitors and some exhibitors that have skid steers and mini excavators and the large excavators even, and some of the rental companies that even provide those type of things if you don't need to purchase one of your own. So yeah, a lot of different variety of things, even pickup trucks. So come shop for your new pickup truck while you're here too, and be able to talk to the manufacturers, not necessarily just the dealers in many cases.
Well, a lot of times people are asking, I'd like to be an exhibitor, but they tell me that you're all full up. Have you been able to, with some of the changes around the review, make a little bit more room for exhibitors?
That's right, Gary. So with this flexible space we have on the east now, I've been able to add just a little bit more space, which some exhibitors wanted to move further east, and that helped them be able to add some more space. And also, that just creates a little bit more additional space that we can put new exhibitors into. So this year will be more important than ever to use that program map. And also we have an online directory that's going to become available in July, and also a mobile app that will be available closer to the show. So those are awesome tools for people to use to be able to navigate the site and find the exhibitors they want to see, because this year we've had more moves than we've ever had, especially with some of the exhibitors wanting to increase space, and that's created some more moves for other exhibitors. So look for those folks that you want in those directories and maps so that you can find those efficiently and quickly.
I know in the past we've talked about the app that was introduced just a few years ago, and that seemed to help a lot of people coming to the review. If you don't have a plan, and there are people you want to see, and you're not efficient in going around and seeing exhibitors, I can attest to the fact you're just not going to see them all.
That's right. A 100-acre exhibit area is really large. When we think of 100 acres in farming, it doesn't seem like much these days. And some people, that feels like a lot. When you walk 100 acres in one day, that's quite a few miles. And even though the blocks are 100 to 150 feet apart, that's still a lot of times down and back down through there. So on average, I would say probably most people walk about 7 miles when they come to the show.
Okay, real quick now, Nick, if folks watching want to get a little bit more information, more than what we've touched on here, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, our website is fsr.osu.edu, and there you can find a lot of information, and especially our online directory for exhibitors. There's keyword searchable things in there. So if you're looking for a certain type of product or a product category, those things are available, just similar to what's in the program, but you can keyword search those. The app will have very similar functionality. So if it's something where you don't want to use up your data while you're out and about for the day or 2 or 3 days of the Farm Science Review that you're here, you can download that app and it'll be ready to go, and won't have to use up that data.
And to get more information on that, I'm sure that folks can just search Google and you'll be able to find a lot of that.
That's right. Yep. And on our website, we'll have all that information as well. And both the Android and Apple stores will have those apps available for Farm Science Review.
Very good. Nick Zackrich has been our guest, the manager of Farm Science Review, which is going to be held September 17th, 18th, and 19th.